Welcome back, and in this video we're continuing a remake of the ZX Spectrum classic Jetpack.
So every time I add to this, what I'm actually doing is I'm going into this sprite sheet and I am just drawing out a rectangle. So this one is a 16 by 16. So this is going to be U1 bottom, and then I do Control D and that duplicates it, and I just move it up to there, and then I'm going to call that U1 middle, and I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to call that one U1 top. So that is U1 bottom, U1 middle, U1 top. And I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of these. Now that we've done that, click on apply, and then we can come out of that. So for this one, we need to have the rockets. They've got to be triggers. Actually, well, yeah, the bits have got to be triggers, but we need to have the initial placement for them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create what's the easiest way to do this? I think it might actually be a scriptable object. Okay, so I'm going to create a scriptable object, and then we're going to have an arrays of scriptable objects for each of the sprites. I think that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to do scripts, and then I'm going to create a C# script, rocket asset, and this is going to be a scriptable object. Can I make it an asset? No, I can't, can I? Because it's got to be a scriptable object. Public sprite top, public sprite middle, public sprite bottom. Okay, and I think that's it. And then the rocket asset. So, and then we need a create script, and then we're going to call this rocket manager. Yeah, rocket manager. That's good enough. Rocket manager, and then we're going to have public scriptable object. Ooh, actually, rocket asset rockets. And I think I can create. Can I? No, I think I'm okay there. So that's a Jetman there. Let's tidy this up a wee bit. Create empty barriers. Let's drag that up to there, and then we're going to have that one. No, left side block, right side block, and then we've got ground barrier and top barrier. Okay, and then let's create another empty one here called platforms, and that's going to be 0, 0, 0, and that is going to have the left, the center, and the right, and we're going to put that in platforms there. Okay. And now we're going to have a game object here called Rocket Manager. And I'm going to create another empty one here called Script. And another one here called Objects. And then another one here called Player. Okay, and each one of these is going to be at 0, 0, 0, just for tidiness. And we're going to have objects there, and we're going to have player here, and our scripts are going to be up here as well. So scripts are going to be inside Rocket Manager, which is also going to be at 0, 0, 0. Rocket Manager. So we have 0 rockets, but we actually have 4 rockets. So I'm going to create that there, and then we need to be able to create let me create folder rockets, rocket assets. I think, how do I do this again? Right, let's consult the book of knowledge. How do we do this again? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, here we go. Create. Boom. Okay. So inside our scriptable object, we go into here, and file menu data, we'll call that rocket. Oh no. Rocket, and then scriptable objects, rocket asset. Okay. And we should do create scriptable objects, rocket asset, and we'll call that U1. Create scriptable object, rocket asset, U2. U4. Okay, so U1, the top is going to be U1. U2 middle, U2 bottom. Oh no, what am I doing U2 for? Oh, good grief. U1 middle and U1 top, bottom. Okay, so top, middle, bottom. Okay. And then U2 is going to be this here. Let me see if we get this wrong again. Okay, so we need U2 top, U2 middle, and U2 bottom. Okay. And then the same thing for U3 top, U3 middle, U3 bottom. Okay, and then last but not least, U4 top, U4. I don't have a U4 middle. Well, this is no bueno. Okay. Sprite editor. Oh, M4 middle. U4 middle. Apply. And then I go back to the rocket assets and then change that to a U4 middle. And U4 bottom. There we go. Okay. And then for our rocket manager, let's just delete all of that. We're going to select all of these. Actually, we're going to make sure that's locked, and then we're going to select all of these, and we're going to drag them into there, and that's going to have our U1, U2, U3, U4. And so I'm going to say we want to show initial position for rocket 0. Okay. So our rockets are going to be pick-upable and they're going to be triggered as well. So I need to create an empty, let's call this rocket part. Oh no, rocket manager. Unlink that, 0, 0, 0. And then this is going to have a sprite attached to it. Actually, let me delete that. Let's go to artwork and then let's choose U1 bottom because that would be the default one, doesn't really matter. And let's call this rocket part. We're going to add a component which is going to be a collider, box collider 2D, but it's going to be a trigger. And I'm going to give it a tag as well, so I'm going to add a custom tag called rocket part so that I know what type it is. And it's got a sprite renderer, and that's good. So the starting positions for each one of these rockets I'm going to have to figure out. So I think I can do that, and I'll do that just now. Okay, so the first position is -7232, so I'm going to record that in here. Rocket manager, let's have public, let's have private, vector 2, let's make it vector 3, start positions equals new, vector 3, new vector 3, what is it? I just said what it was there, -7232. -7232. Why is it not liking this? Can't implicitly convert vector 3 to int. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. Why am I doing that? I've been away from C# for so long, I can't remember how to do a blooming array. Vector 3. New Why am I struggling with this? Equals new vector 3. What is it? Array creation must have array size or array initializer. Feels like it. Hold on. I'm confused as well. I don't know why I'm struggling to figure this out. Okay, 1 second. So new array, new vector 3. Get it eventually, and then it's got to be in the middle one there. So that means that this rocket part is going to move along to here. It's going to be 8, I'm going to guess. And then 48? No. 16? 8? There we go. So 8, 8. Comma, new vector 3. And it's going to be way over here. And way up here. So that's going to be 88 by 56. Okay, 88 by 56. 56. Okay. And then what I need to do is I've got the rockets there. I need to have public game object rocket part prefab. And then I need to have public void show rocket parts int rocket ID. So I want to show rocket parts for rocket ID, which is going to be something in here, and that's going to be a copy of all of these. So I'm going to say var parts equals new sprite. Here we go again. Rockets rocket ID dot top. Well, actually, where are the parts? Yeah, it's top, middle, bottom. Oh no, the bottom's there. What am I doing? Oh, the bottom's not there, it's over here. Okay, so that's going to be 44. And that's going to be 44 negative 80. Okay, so that's 44 negative 80. Okay. Top, middle, and bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to go through all the parts and then show the rocket parts. So it's going to be for int I equals 0, I less than parts dot length, I plus plus. And I'm going to say var go equals the act to instantiate, that's the word I'm looking for. Rocket part prefab, comma, new oh no it's not, comma, start positions I, true. Why is it not liking that? Oh. You know, you lose. Oh yeah, it's got to be quaternion. Identity. Okay. So I'm going to create that there. I'm going to say go dot get component sprite renderer dot sprite equals parts I. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm going to create another folder here called prefabs. And I'm going to drag and drop rocket part into there, and then rocket manager is going to have rocket part. Okay, so now we've got a rocket part there, and then just for debug purposes I'm going to do show rocket parts 0. So I want to show the 0th version of the rocket. Okay, here we go, and we should be able to walk through it, and we do. Oh, it's starting to feel like a game. Oh, a bit floaty. Okay. And then we don't want to pick up the rocket part immediately. We want to be able to pick it up in the click on that to edit it. And then the box collider 2D is trigger. Let's make that 8 by 8 like that, so that it's not going to pick it up immediately. It's going to pick it up when you walk into it. Okay, and let me get rid of that rocket part. And then when you do pick it up, actually, I want to have a script here that when you do pick it up, actually, hang on a sec. Rocket part. Oh, this is going to be a rocket part. Okay. Do I want to put it on here? Public void on trigger enter 2D. If I really want to turn the trigger off, I guess. There's a couple of things I want to do. I want to turn it off, but yeah. So do I need to know the part number? Probably not. Maybe I do. Okay, so if collision dot tag equals rocket part, pick up rocket part. Maybe we'll have other triggers. Private void pick up rocket part. And then what we're going to do is for the rocket part, we're going to do oh, we need to know what that is. Collision dot game object. Okay, object. So we want to say collision rocket part. Let's call it what it is. So we'll say rocket part dot transform dot set parent transform. So it's whatever this parent transform is. Rocket part dot transform dot local position equals vector 3.0. So set it to be that. And then we'll say rocket part dot get component box collider 2D set active enabled equals false. Hopefully that will not keep setting it. So when we walk into it, it should pick it up. Of course, we need to actually have it added to it. Oh no, because we're doing it through there. That's fine. Okay. So we've got our version, our part there. So when we go over here, we can pick it up, and you see we've picked it up. So the thing is, we don't want to have the first one picked up though. So if it's in place, we need to know that it's in place. So let's have, we need to know that it's in place. We do need to know that it's in place. So let me where are we? Rocket Manager. Okay. So I do need a script here. Okay, so let's have this as, do I have rocket part? No, I don't. Create rocket part. This is just going to be a really simple script. It's going to say public pool is picked is can be picked up. There you go. Can be picked up. And I'm going to add that to the rocket part. Let's go to prefabs, click on that, and then add rocket part, and can be picked up. I'm going to set to false because I don't want the third one to be picked up. Okay, and I want to do that by default. So I want to go to here. Where are we? Okay, Rocket Manager, and then I want to say go.get component rocket part dot can be picked up equals, and then it's going to be I is less than 2 because it's going to be 0, 1, and 2. So it can be picked up if it's there, and then I'm going to go to the locomotion player. Rocket part, and I'm going to say if rocket part dot get component rocket part can be picked up, if it can't be picked up, return, because I don't want to pick it up if I can't pick it up. So I shouldn't be able to pick up the base one, but I should be able to pick up the other two, but only if I'm not carrying it. So I can't pick that one up. And I should be able to pick this one up. Boom. And then I need to be able to drop it off there. Okay. Okay. So that's that there. And then if I'm carrying another one, I don't want to know. So I'm going to say private bool carrying part So I'm going to say that to there. I'm going to say carrying part equals true. So if you're carrying a rocket part, you can't pick up another part. And not carrying part. Okay. So once again, go to here. And I can pick up this part here. Like that. But I won't be able to pick up this part. Ugh. Yeah, see, I can't pick up that part. And then when I get to this point here, I should be able to drop the part. But only... Can you pick up any part? No, you can't, can you? Oh, you can't. Oh, so it's got to be in order. Oh, silly me. Okay, we need to know the numbers. It can't just be the versions, because it's got to be like, you got to pick up the middle and you got to pick up the bottom, so it's got to ignore the middle one there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to say private int next part ID. I'm going to say equals -1. That, and then for rocket part we need to have public int rocket part, part ID. Boom. And then part ID equals I. So 0, 1, and 2. So you need to have so this is the rocket manager, so let's show parts there. So our player needs to have part number 1. Needs part number 1. Okay. So we obviously need to be able to reset that there. So public void reset part required. Yeah, I'm just going to do boom, next part ID. Okay. So reset part required, next part ID 1. Okay. And then in here we need to do part ID is not equal to next part return. Oh, and I think we need to know if we're carrying a part as well. Private pool carrying part. Maybe we don't. Let's leave it at that just now. So if the part is not the same as that one, then return. Okay. So we're only going to pick up the part if we need it. And then we're going to say that part ID. Okay. So we can't have part. So it should be part 1 is the first one. Yeah. So we can't pick up this one. So this one's going to be unpickable. And then we're going to avoid that one just now. So this one here, we shouldn't be able to pick up either. And we can't, but we should be able to pick this one up. Eventually. Come on. Boom. So we can pick that one up. Okay, that's good. So now we need to add a trigger there that says we can let it go. Okay. And I think we can get away with it as well, because we can probably set the that part to being another number, or at least just turn off the trigger. Actually, no, we're turning off the trigger anyway, so you won't be able to pick it up once you've picked it up. You won't be able to pick it up again, so you won't be able to like drop it and then fly away with it. So when the player hits this vertical threshold here, which is gonna be, where is this one here? Rocket Manager. Yeah, this one here. So it's gonna be 8 pixels that way. Well, it's gonna be, where is that? Yeah, 44. So it's when it hits 44, then we're gonna have to drop the object on here. So I'm going to create another empty object, which I'm going to set to 0, 0, 0 just now, and that's going to have a box collider 2D, and the size of that, I'm just going to make it 4 on the X, and for the Y I'm going to make it 192. And it needs to be at 44, I think. So yeah, there. So if for game, let me see, I can show gizmos. Here we go. Yeah, gizmos, okay. So I click on play, and you can see that that's right bang slap in the center there. Okay. So this game object here is going to be the drop zone, for lack of a better word. So I'm going to put that in here, and it's going to be a trigger, and I don't want it to hit. I only want it to hit when this is in the middle of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create I need a rigid body on there, don't I? Do I have a move through? Oh no! Well, that's that one getting loaded. So I go to locomotion, I've got on trigger enter, void on trigger stay 2D, okay, on trigger stay 2D. So when it's staying in here, I want to say if collision dot tag equals, nope, it's not that, it's dot name equals drop zone, because that's this one here, drop zone, and transform dot position dot x is, actually let me do transform position dot x minus collision dot transform dot position dot x. Let's put this into another line. We'll do math f dot abs that is less than 2. So if the transformation is there and it's less than 2, if the player's x is within the tolerance of that collider, the x value of the collider, then I want to drop things, and carrying part. So if you're carrying a part, then you want to do that. I also need to know rocket part. Okay, so that's going to be current part equals that. So we need to do private game object current part. So if, where are we? So if that and current part is not equal to null, and who taught me to format that there, and then that there. Okay, so if we're in the drop zone and the current part is not equal to null, and in that, then what I'm going to say is current part dot transform dot set parent null. So I'm going to set the parent to be null. I also need to make it drop, so I'm going to figure that out in just a sec. Okay. So if I go and grab this, and then I move over here, it should stop. There we go. Okay. And what I need to do is I need to say current part dot transform dot position equals new vector 3, and it's going to be 22, and then the y is going to be current part dot transform dot position dot y, which is that. And then I'm going to say current part equals null, carrying part equals false. So now we can carry that, and then we can say next part ID minus minus, and so do we ever use this? We don't use that. Okay, well let's just get rid of it then. If we're not going to use it, might as well just get rid of it. Okay, so when we enter there, part ID, okay, and then we turn that collision off there. Okay. So now we run this. We go grab this, and then we run into here. That didn't work. However, it should mean we can pick this up. There we go, we pick that up. Well, it's not dropping at the right bit, but let's have a look. So this one is that one there, that one there, that one there. Okay. Oh, because it's got to be 44. Why am I setting that to that? 22. Okay, let's put private static read only. Drop zone x equals 44. Float. Okay, so now we set this drop zone x. Okay. So we set it to be that, and then what we want to do is we also want to make sure it falls. So we'll set a coroutine so that it just falls and hits the right place. Okay, so there's that there, and then that goes into there, and that's going to fall down there. Nice. And then when we get this one here, grab that one there, and that one there. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to find out the rocket manager instance. So I'm gonna just create a little singleton up here. So I'm gonna say private static rocket manager instance, public static rocket manager instance, get if instance, actually return instance, and then in the awake what I'm going to do is just tell it to set the static value. So I'll say instance equals this, because it's always going to be that. So what I want to do is I want to tell it that it's going to start descending that rocket part. So I'm going to say public void drop part game object rocket part int rocket part ID, and inside the locomotion so this is gonna be on trigger here. Okay, so and current part is not equal to null. So in here I want to say rocket manager dot instance dot drop part, and it's going to be collision dot game object, and it's going to be collision dot game object dot get component rocket part. And I'm running out of lines here. Dot part ID, and that is going to get us a little bit further along. Okay, so I don't need to worry about that. So the part ID is then going to be determined by the height of where it's going to be when it drops. It'll become apparent in just a sec here. So in drop part I'm going to say start coroutine drop the part rocket part ID, and this is going to be retor. So where does this go to? No, it's not going to let me do that, is it? Nope. No. Okay, it's going to let me do it now. Right, so I'm going to run this. Oh, I don't know why I did that, because I already know what that is. So it's minus 80. So the first one is going to be minus 80, so minus 80 plus 16, which is going to be minus 70, 64. So minus 64. So I'm going to say float end y equals rocket part ID equals 1. So it's going to be minus 64. Otherwise it's part 0. So it's going to be minus 16 on top of that, which is going to be minus 48. Okay. So we then do float time equals 0 while time is less than 1. So we're going to say game object transform dot position plus equals, and then it's going to be new vector 3 0 comma minus minus 8 times time dot delta time comma 0, because we're always subtracting there, Now we say if game object dot transform dot position. Oh yeah, it's times time as well. If what am I doing here? Float lerp. Vector 3 target equals new vector 3, and then it's going to be 44 comma end y, and then equals vector 3 dot larp even, and then it's going to be game object start equals rocket part dot position rocket part dot transform dot position equals vector 3 dot lerp start target time plus equals time dot delta time null, and then we just mark that as being the target at the very end there, and then it's done. Okay, so when they hit that, it's just going to descend at some arbitrary speed. Now we haven't got the times variable here, I guess, but again, just for quickness, to make sure that we're doing this right, just want to make sure everything's working. I did not like that. Collision.gameObject. Oh, instance hasn't been set. Ooh, okay. Oh. If instance equals null, instance equals gameObject dot find object of type rocket manager. Yep. Don't need to do that. Ooh, too high. Come on. No, didn't like that. So my guess is, yeah, it's definitely not liking either collision or it's not liking the rocket part of it. That would be my guess. So let's try that again. Oh, way up there. Alright. So recommend instance, and then collision is there. Game object is there. What is game object? Game object is drop zone. Oh, I see. Because it's got to be the current part, that's why. Ah, that's silly. That is a silly mistake. So yeah, it's got to be the current part, and then we reset the current part to be there. Alright. Okay, so that's going to compile that. Oh, do you see it go down there? That's good. Okay. Ooh, down. There. Okay. Do that there. And that's dropping that there. Perfect. And now that that's all stuck together, Now that that's all stuck together, we can now start dropping fuel. So that's good. So in our rocket manager, and now we're going to do time. Divided by 2. I don't know. It seems like it was dropping really quick. Because it doesn't feel like it drops that fast. And then, yeah, that feels much better. Okay, and then we pick up that one. And that one there. Alright, okay. Okay. And then what we need to do is we need to be able to drop fuel. Alright. So the fuel. So we've also got random things that we need to drop as well. Let me just make sure I've got everything okay here. Alright, that's fine there. So okay. I keep saying okay a lot. I don't know why I'm saying okay a lot, but we also need to sort out the opacity of some of these things as well. But that's exactly where I want it to be. Also, when I was a kid, and even now, that looks like the saucer section, the main body section, and then the cells of the Enterprise, and I don't think that's a coincidence. But I've never been able to corroborate that. Oh, and just make sure that we can't pick anything up there. That's good. Okay. And then we also need to be able to set it up to be stationary as well. So in our rocket part, rocket manager here, we want to be able to start positions, and then we also want to have start stationary positions. So that's going to be 44 minus 64, and that's going to be 44 minus 48. So that's our start stationary positions. So show rocket parts. I need to pass in the array in here, so that's going to be rocket asset rocket. So that's going to be that. Now, do I need the rocket ID? No, I don't. Okay. So I can take that away like that. But I do need to pass in the start positions. So that's going to be the rocket, and then we need to have vector 3 positions. So that's got to be this one here. Oh, that there. Okay. So show rocket parts, and then we're going to choose parts, rockets. Let's choose 1 this time, and then the positions will be start stationary positions. So that's our show rocket parts, but we need a public version of this. I'm going to have public void show init rocket positions, int rocket ID, bool split rocket equals true. Show rocket parts, rockets, rocket ID, comma, split rocket, start positions, start stationary positions. Okay. So now we do init, and then we choose 0. So if we do that, let me put this on. Let me put that into 2 separate lines there. So if we split the rocket, then we're going to use these start positions. Otherwise, we're going to use the stationary positions. And the stationary positions are when the rocket is all set up. So after 4 levels, I think it is. So there we go. There's our positions all broken up there. And if we set this to be false, in other words, build the rocket, then that's the rocket all set up there. Now you notice that I can still pick up the rocket from there. So I also need to make sure that the player doesn't know how to do that, or the player can't set it up. Maybe what I need to do is show rocket parts, positions. Split rocket. I don't know if I want that much logic in here. Well, I mean, it's not that much logic. So if we do split rocket, split rocket, and if we say, so if we don't split the rocket, then we want to disable that there. So we want to say do go dot get component rocket part dot, oh no, it's not that, it's box collider 2D enabled equals split rocket. There you go. That's easy. So the box collider is only enabled if we split the rocket. Right. So if we don't split the rocket, I can't pick it up, which is perfect. But if I take that away, so the default is true, so it does split the rocket, I should still be able to pick it up. Oh, too high. Boink. There we go. Perfect. Oh, a bit floaty. Bit floaty. There we go. And that one there. Nice. Okay. That's that done. I think that's all I want to do. I just want to I think this is a good place to break with for the video, and then the next one we can set up the dropping things. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it the old thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it the old thumbs down. Leave a comment below as well. All of these things help rise us up in the YouTube algos, and I really appreciate it because it really drives the channel forward a little bit. And as always, if you did enjoy this, you got this far, and you want timely reminders of when I put new videos up, then don't forget to hit the old subscribe button and notification bell, and YouTube will work its algorithms and give unto you these videos, whatever, or not. It's up to you. It's a free country. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.